Hello out there, we're on the air. It's hockey night tonight. Tension grows, the whistle blows, and the puck goes down the ice. The goalie jumps and the players bump and the fans all go insane. Someone roars, Bobby scores at the good old hockey game. Oh, the good old hockey game is the best game you can name. And the best game you can name is the good old hockey game. Second period, where players dance with skates aflash. The home team trails behind, but they grab the puck and go bursting up, and they're down across the line. They storm the crease like bumblebees. They travel like a burning flame. We see them slide the puck inside. It's a 1-1 hockey game. Oh, the good old hockey game is the best game you can name. And the best game you can name is the good old hockey game. Take me where hockey players face off down the rink, and the Stanley Cup is all filled up for the champs who win the drink. Now the final flick of the hockey stick and the one gigantic scream. The puck is in the
Blues win!
Hockey game. Oh.
Presented by Scott Credit Union. Yours.
Playoff BlueNote fan report. Aloha and mahalo. I am Guy the Hawaii Blues fan. Couldn't even spit it out. I'm pumped. I'm excited for a special 1 hour BlueNote fan report preview. Get your buddies together. Get them. This is your show. Get on Facebook. Share the show. Let them know. Let's get those numbers up. Get them up. Get them up. Get them up, up, up. Get them up. Get them up. Get them up, up, up. Get them up. Get them up. Get them up, up, up. Let's get the numbers up. Yeah, let's go. E. Guido's here. Jason Hirsch is oh so ready. Chris Lambert is here. The Cardinals played a very early game today, and they won. They beat the cross-state rivals 1-0. I got to go Blues, go Blues, go Blues. Whoever's watching this in that post that you're watching this on, if you go up and look in the top of that post, it says you might have to click on the More button. If it says, hey, I'm going online with StreamYard, click here to let me see your name. If you do that, then I can see your name. But I appreciate that. Intro, T-minus 4 minutes or later. Oh, I forgot to send somebody something. Oh, shoot, man. Just I was looking at something and absolutely forgot to hook somebody up, and I'll do it now. There we go. I'm sorry. I was trying to find something, and I haven't been able to find it yet. And I know it's easy to find. There was so much going on. I got Tommy saying, woohoo! Jason, I hope the Blues are pumped as I am. I think they are. Playoffs, yes, sir. Got it up on the big screen. Is that Bob Morton? It might be. Let's go, baby. You have no idea how much I had to pay to start the game tonight. I don't think you had to pay anything. I think that start was cemented long ago, my friend, long ago. Let's go, Blues. Goyer's resurrection begins tonight. I don't think so. I don't think so at all. And after that last comment, I may not let my friend in. Let's effing go, boys. It's Lance to Scott.
Hey, Guy.
The drop. Hey, buddy, how are you doing?
Not too bad. How are you?
I am not bad. Wendy's in trouble. He's saying go Flower. Wendy, I wouldn't be rooting against the. Oh, yeah, I would. So don't even try that, Guy. Jason says, well earned. I get you, buddy. I'm excited, my friend. I'm pumped. I'm pumped. You know,
I am
hold
too.
On. After that last comment, I'm thinking about just kicking your ass out.
The name's right here on it, too, if you look closely.
Say again?
If you look closely, my name does pull up right now as Windy City Hockey Go Flower.
Yeah, no, yeah. Oh, you got to expand it out. Maybe if we do this, maybe we do that, it's still not good. Oh, there you go. Now they can all see it. Man, I'm excited tonight. I'm excited. I think this is great. I mean, the playoffs have just started. We got 25 people in my group for the Pick'em contest, right? That's pretty good. I think last time I did this 2 years ago, I had 8. Right? 8 or 9. So I'm happy to get 25. Got a couple of guys from my, what do you call it? My fantasy league. I think I got a couple of Wendy's guys. Got one Minnesota guy. Are you ready for this one, Wendy?
I already. Okay.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. Did you all see the Clifford hit? No, I did not.
Yep, I did.
He's on Toronto.
He's an idiot. He basically roughed up a guy on the boards and hit him when the puck was nowhere near him, and
he's going to get suspended.
Just stupidity. And I've had this discussion with elite fans over the last couple of days. Oh, Clifford's a difference maker. He's going to really lay the law down. He didn't when he was with the Blues, and he's an AHL player at this point in his career. He should. I'm sorry, Sheldon Keefe should be fired for starting this guy in the playoffs, because you can't do that. You can't take stupid penalties in the playoffs. Now, Tampa didn't score, but you cannot do that in the playoffs.
Yeah. Hey, real quick, Matlow, you might still be able to get into it. You might still be able.
Just scored for the Hurricanes.
Yeah, I seen that. Who was it that scored?
Slavin of the Hurricanes.
Slavin. Yep. So that one's 1-0, and it's 1-0 Toronto on the other side of this. I'm keeping up on that game. I wanted to do a breakdown. I wanted to break down the Minnesota line by line. I wanted to break down Minnesota St. Louis line by line. I wanted to go over their projected top line against our projected top line, second line, third line, and so forth. I think that's something that we can do that's going to be fun. I got to see if I can find the projected lineups. I got the 3 keys. I don't know if that's got the projected lineups in it or not. Because off the top of my head, I don't know who the. Here we go. Projected lineups, right? Let's do this while we're, before Ashley gets here. I want to go over their number one projected lineup and our number one projected lineup. So their projected lineup is Kasparov, Hartman, and Zuccarello. Ours is O'Reilly centering Saad and Perron. I'll go with Lance first. Who do you give the edge to in those lineups?
I give the edge to the Blues, but barely. They're pretty close lines.
Actually, what about you there, Wendy?
Probably the Blues on that one.
Well, Kasparov has 108 points. Zuccarello has 79. And Hartman, yeah. And then Hartman, where is Hartman? And Hartman is 65. That's a pretty solid line, right?
That's a great line, yeah.
Okay.
The thing is, Zuccarello's coming in injured.
Yeah. Okay. So for O'Reilly, for the Blues number one line, you have O'Reilly with 58 points. Saad with 49, and Perron with 57. Looking at this off the top of my head, I give the edge to Minnesota. However, that's the offensive edge. Defensively, I think that this line, the Blues defensive line, is much better. Make it 2-0 Carolina.
Yeah.
Much better.
Snipe.
Say again?
That was a snipe from the point.
Yeah. I think that the Blues defense of this line makes it just a tad better overall than that line, the Hartman, Kasparov, Zuccarello line. Agree, disagree?
I can agree a little bit on that.
Okay, yeah, I would say their line is definitely much more of an offensive line. I wouldn't call any 3 of those guys a decent two-way player.
And that might be, well, I don't know. I think
is more of a grinder and gets them down. He plays a two-way game. He's just a he has that grinding ability to his game to play the 200-foot game, which is a good attribute from Hartman.
Toronto striking for Toronto. I picked Toronto to win that series. I actually did. I ended up going back and picking them. Let me see. Eric Hurst, check it out. Telling someone to check out the show. Carolina scores. Nice tip. Trying to get, okay, here's how we beat Minnesota. Keep Kasparov to the outside. I agree with that. Really only big-time threat they have. That I don't agree with. They can't let him take over the series. I don't think he will. They contain him. They'll be fire. They'll be fine. I could see that. I'm trying to catch up your comments, guys, because we were going down this. So give me a second. Mini might be physical, but are they ready for playoff physical? And that's a good point. That's a good point. I don't think they've played very physical much of the season, have they, Wendy?
Not that I've really noticed, but I don't think that's part of their game. They really aren't a full physical team other than Foligno and Hartman.
Yeah, and I tell you what, right now, the Blues are not a heavy team. They're not a big, strong physical team. They're much more offensive now, and they rely on their forwards to play a two-way game, and they try to minimize the mistakes. And but I still give them that first line the edge defensively, even though Hartman's a decent two-way player. I still give the edge to them, but I do agree with Nick that he is a decent two-way player.
Yeah, no, I that offensively that's a better line, but overall I think that the Blue putting that line against that, putting the O'Reilly line against that line should limit their offensive chances.
By the way, it does look like Marc-Andre Fleury's getting the start.
He is.
Yeah, Fleury is getting the start. He was in the starter's net today.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's Fleury versus Husso. Who would have thunk it?
Well, last night I told everybody that I was told by my Blues insider that Husso would be starting. I get nothing on the post. Nobody liked it, so on and so forth. But if I would have put that and he wouldn't have started, I'd have 200 responses from the trolls.
Oh, yeah.
And, Berube announced it this morning, but I was told late last night that that's who it would be. And I still say that Berube's going to live or die by Husso. If he thinks he can put Husso in one game and Bennington the next, that's not going to work. He's going to have to stick with Husso unless Husso lets in 4, 5, 6 goals and they go down 2-0.
Oh, my goodness. Look at this crap. Yeah, that was 3 cups in 6 years ago. So
yeah, come on, Leon.
Right? They don't even they can't even sniff the playoffs. They're fixing the greens.
I have a question for Leon.
Yes.
Why would Leon Draisaitl go on about the Chicago Blackhawks?
Good point.
Didn't we kick their asses in the playoffs a couple of years ago?
Yeah, a couple of years ago.
Yeah. No Guy and I both said Saturday we expected, but hoped that they would go with Bennington. Yeah, I did. I kind of hoped that they would go with Bennington, but they didn't. Okay, so let's get to this second line. Second line for the Wild is Frederick Gaudreau. I think I'm saying it right. Against Gaudreau. Okay, Frederick Gaudreau with Matt Boldy and Kevin Fiala. And that's against Robert Thomas, Vladimir Tarasenko, and Pavel Buchnevich. That line right there blows the other line away. The Thomas line blows away the Gaudreau line. Blows it away in all aspects in my eyes. Wendy?
I mean, I don't say it's overpowered. I would say St. Louis has the advantage in that line combo, but that's more of a grinder line that Minnesota has going because Gaudreau and the other two on his wings do play more of a grinder style play.
Yeah, it looks like they definitely do, but go ahead, Guy.
No, it looks like Matthew just scored. I don't know. I'm kind of trying to catch things up. You guys are doing the best we can with the with the
answering the
comments,
question.
guys. So if I don't get to your comment, I apologize. So no, we're not going to get to everybody's comments in today's show.
I'll take. Right? I'll tell you what, Wendy. I'll take an offensive powered line with a very good defensively Vladimir Tarasenko and a very good defensive Pavel Buchnevich over that so-called grinder line. I think that says a lot about the Wild. Most grinder lines are their third or fourth line. When you're relying on that grinder line to put out a lot of minutes, it's going to be sink or swim with them in my take, because, they've got some talent, but, like I said, Tarasenko can be physical. He's 6'2", 6'3", 220 pounds. Pavel Buchnevich isn't tiny. And Robert Thomas, although he's not big, he doesn't shy away from pushing people around. So I definitely think that second line for the Blues is probably 30% better than the Wild line, but it's not a gaping difference like 100% or 70%.
Oh, I actually think it is. I think you're looking at, first of all, Tarasenko should probably won't, but should be a finalist for both the Selke and the Lady Byng this season, and the Masterson, to be honest with you, right? I know what the narrative was. However, while we know we feel that narrative wasn't correct, it was the narrative that was out there. It was what he had to overcome, and 2 shoulder surgeries, and to have his best season ever at age 30. Yeah, I'll take that all day long. I don't see anybody else getting the Masterson this year. He probably will not be a top 3 for the Selke, but he should. And I do think that he should be a top 3 for the Lady Byng. He only had 5 penalty minutes.
I don't think.
No, pardon me. That's power play. That's power play. I don't see his penalty minutes up here. So
he wasn't nominated, Nick.
He's not nominated for the Masterson.
No.
He wasn't?
Nope.
No.
No, Tarasenko was not.
Nominate him.
He was nominated.
No, he wasn't.
No, he wasn't, Guy.
He was not nominated by the St. Louis Press, or he didn't come in the finalist.
It's by their teammates who vote for the Masterton, and who is nominated for the Masterson. It's voted upon by their teammates to put them in on the ballot. Because right now the Blackhawks Masterson nominee is Dylan Strome.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on a sec. Hold on a sec. I know.
Here are the nominees: Ryan Getzlaf, Andrew Ladd, Jake DeBrusk, Kyle Okposo, Chris Tanev, Antti Ranta, Dylan Strome, Jack Johnson, Justin Danforth, Tyler Seguin, Mark Stahl, Chris Russell, Anthony Duclair, Blake Lizotte, Jared Spurgeon, Carey Price, Mark Borowicki, Nick Hischer, Zdeno Chara, that's a joke, Chris Kreider, Anton Forsberg, Kevin Hayes, Brian Boyle, and Vladimir Tarasenko was nominated. You are right. I must be thinking of last year, but he was nominated by the Blues.
Yes, because that nomination is by the Pro Hockey Writers Association. Because I got the tweet about it, and that's why I remembered that.
Yeah, but it is by city, because 32. Yeah. There's 32 writers.
So each team gets to nominate one, and then prior to the award ceremony, that gets knocked down to 3.
You know who's going to get it? It's going to be Ryan Getzlaf, because he's retiring. I guarantee you that's who's going to get it.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I really do. I think that this one might go to Tarasenko.
I ain't going to go to Tarasenko.
I think that's
whoever's saying this mini second line. Again, if you're using this on the Hawaii Blues fan clan, you need to look at the post itself that you're watching this on. It says I'm going on using StreamYard. You need to click on that so I can see your name. Tommy says, "Put me in, guy. I got your back. No problem, bud." If Husso plays the entire playoffs, does that damage Benner and Berube's already sour relationship?
Yep.
We'll talk about that in a little bit. Let's continue with where we were. Let's continue. Let's go to that third line. Third line is Eriksson Ek, Bagliano, and Greenway against Shin, Kyrou, and Barbashev. Lance?
I give the edge to the Wild on that one. I just do.
I give it to the Wild on that one.
By slight edge or close?
It's slight.
It's a slight edge, but it's in favor for the Wild there.
The only thing that when I look at that, you've got 3 20-goal scorers on that line. right? That does say something. And I do give a little bit to the Eriksson Ek line, but I think if that Shin line does get some chances to break out, they can score some goals, right?
Yeah, and you've got to remember too that Shin, although he's back in the lineup, is not 100%.
I bet he's pretty close. I have a feeling he's pretty close.
I was told he's about 70%.
If he was 70%, I don't see him being in the lineup.
Oh yeah, he would. Trust me, he wants to play bad.
Yeah, well, we got guys that are better at 100% than Shin is at 70. Right? I mean, there's some guys there that I think you could bring up.
If
Joshua,
they're not going to, they're not going to.
Is better. Joshua's better at 100% than
Shin
is at 70.
No, he's not.
I think so. But that's neither here nor there. Gotta love it, Wendy. We're arguing amongst ourselves. The fourth line for the Blues is Bozak, Torpachenko, the Torpedo, and the Australian wonder from down under, Nathan Walker, against Yost. And I'm probably going to kill this name, Duham, and De La Ruse, or something like that. Can you help me out there, Wendy?
De La Ruse.
Did I say the other two right?
I think no.
Well, I know Yost is right.
No, it's Jost.
It's Jost.
Okay.
You're thinking of Yossi, Roman Yossi. It's Jost.
Yeah. So, Wendy, what's your opinion on this?
I would say it's about even.
About even?
I will give it a split. It's pretty even.
Lance?
It's very close. I really can't choose. I'm with Wendy on this one. It's one of those where you pick them, you're right. You don't pick them, you're right. So it's just too close for me to call.
I like the big body of Torpachenko on that line. I like the speed of Walker. I don't like the age of Bozak. However, I do feel that line's just a tad bit better than the Yost line.
I don't like the inexperience of Torchenko. I mean, he's never played in a playoff game. It's just a lot can go wrong for a guy with no experience.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's got that. That's where he's balanced by Bozak for me.
Yeah, and Bozak, I don't know. He's like a T-Rex that's 20 years old and about to die. He's on his last leg.
Bozak's a fossil.
Yeah, that's why I make it slight. If Bozak were 2-3 years ago, I'd definitely give it to the Blues, but I just can't do it.
Right. Okay. So overall, the Wild forward against the Blues forward, who has the edge up? The edge.
You want to go on this, Nick, first?
I would say St. Louis has a slight edge, but it's not a high edge.
Lance?
I would say that if you're looking defensively, the Blues have more forwards that are strong defensively. If you're looking offensively, I agree with Nick. I think it's one of those things where it's close. It's a very, very slight edge.
Actually, I'm looking at this. How many 20-goal scorers does God, I can't even speak today. How many 20-goal scorers does Minnesota have? Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6. Right? 6. That's it. I think that's right. Maybe I'm wrong. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 6 of them. St. Louis has 9. St. Louis has more guys that scored 40 or more points than any other team in the league. I think overall, even offensively, the Blues are much better balanced team, and I think offensively the Blues are better.
Can I say something here? Can I say something here real quick about this person saying Bozak's been great? 3 goals, 9 assists, 12 points, and a minus 12 or 13. He's not been good.
Hold on. He did preface that with since coming back from the injury.
He's average at best. He's not been impactful. I mean, he has not made a difference in a game that I've watched.
Right. Okay. Well, I mean, that's why we get to do this.
Yep,
you know,
we
talk about this. So let's go defensive pairings. Blues top pairing is Leddy and Parayko against Middleton and Spurgeon. Nick?
I will give that to the Wild.
Lance?
I'll give it to the Wild slightly.
Oh, I don't. I don't. I mean, the only way that I would is if Pareko is. I'm looking at. I'm not looking at Pareko as a whole. I'm looking at Pareko the last month, and Pareko the last month has been one of the better defensive defensemen and offensive overall defensemen on the Blues. He really has. I don't know.
I really like Spurgeon. I think Nick probably does too. Spurgeon's really good. He's a really good top pairing defenseman.
He's a great puck mover. He can lay the hits when needed. He's their captain for a reason.
To me,
a great all-around defenseman.
To me, he's a better version of Letty because he's a great puck mover. The only difference between him and Letty is Letty doesn't throw his weight around as much.
And that's fair enough. I'm trying to compare. Let's see. I can't find it now. 55. Here we go. So Pareko ended up with 6 goals, 29 assists, 35 points, a plus 16, with 18 penalty minutes. Spurgeon was 10, 30, and 40 with a plus 32 and 10 penalty minutes. The one thing there is, and this is the thing that I look at one point in the season, Pareko was a minus 26. He went from a minus 26 to a plus 16. That's what 42 or a 42 shift.
42 point swing.
Yeah, 42 plus minus swing. That's huge. And that's most of that was in the last month and a half.
Oh right? Man, I really hope the Leafs don't win. Because everybody's going to be on the Leafs fans. See, we told you they're winning the cup. I think Leaf fans seem to remember who did they go up against? One of the worst teams in the playoffs. Was it the Canadiens and the Leafs were up 4-0 or 3-0? Didn't the Leafs lose that series?
Someone says goals for and goals against are almost even. I want to look at something.
They're close.
It's a very close stat.
It is. One's like 342 to 340 or 312 to 309. They're really close.
309 for the Blues, the 305 for them.
Very close.
Right?
Even,
and
basically.
And then it's 239 for the Blues giving up, the 249. However, I look at 11 of those goals. 11 of those goals are OT or what do you call it? OT or shootouts, right? That to me, that goes away in the playoffs, right? So the Blues had 4 for them, so that you take those 4 away, and it's 305, right? And you take their 11 away, and it's 294. All right, that's a lot more of an expansion. Now, what does get closer is you take the 8 OT that the Blues gave up, and their 239 becomes 231, where does it go down or does it go up? Goes up, right? So it should go up 8. It would go up 8, so that's 240. Or no, you take them away. So it goes down to 231, where the Minnesota only goes to 247 or 246 because it goes down 3 because you're taking them away. So at that point, I think that the numbers are skewed a little bit because of OT. Does that make some sense?
Yeah, I could see where you're coming from. But
right? Because OT, that 3-on-3, you look at the Wild, they're built for 3-on-3 OT. They're not built for 5-on-5 OT, right? 5-on-5 is a lot more defensive. I'm sorry, I gotta go with. I gotta say that the numbers are skewed a little bit in my eyes. All right, Kyle, that's how I feel about it. Letty is way better than Spurgeon. Yeah, I don't agree with that.
No way, buddy.
No way. And I do believe Letty has some playoff experience of failure by causing a chance to go on a run to go back-to-back champions in 2014 with a major gaffe in a Game 7 overtime.
Yep.
I hold that one against Leddy all the time because Leddy did turn over the puck in the defensive zone against the LA Kings that led to LA eliminating us in the conference final in Game 7 of the overtime.
Yeah,
I defensive
yeah.
gap all the time.
Yeah,
in
and
the playoffs especially.
Yeah, and Letty's good offensively. He moves the puck well, but defensively he can't compare to Spurgeon. He just can't.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But I appreciate your opinion and your thought, though.
Oh no! Hey, Doug Shelton. I'm pretty sure this is Doug Shelton. Yeah, Doug Shelton. If the one that you're looking at this at, if you can click on the top of it where it says "See More" or whatever, it'll say I'm going live using StreamYard. Before leaving a comment, please grant StreamYard permission by clicking on that link. All you got to do is click on it and then go back, and you'll be good. And the same goes for Chris Thompson. So I can know who's saying the comments. Chris Thompson says, "Let's sock him in the mouth. Go Blues! Can't wait for this raunchous series." Yeah, I think it's going to be a good series. I really do.
7.
I think it's going 6, to be honest. Though I would not be surprised if it goes 7. Would not be surprised one bit if this goes 7. At all. And man, I'm kind of lost. I didn't get anything to drink, so my throat dried out on me. Wendy, I want to hear from you. I know you're not a Blues fan. I get it. Okay, I know you're a rival fan, but I also know that you're a pretty decent hockey fan, and you understand you understand the game very, very well. So, breaking down, what is your X factor in this series? Because what I haven't gotten to yet is what I think is the biggest X factor in this series. And what is your X factor in this series?
Conditioning, because once you
say again,
it's conditioning.
Because
conditioning works with either side of the puck. If you're in the offensive zone, you are wanting to tear down the opposition's defense long in your zone. If you're in your defensive zone stuck for a while, you need to play a structured defense that isn't wearing down yourself and keeping yourself stuck into the zone for 2 minutes plus. Minnesota has been known to be stuck in their own zone for plus 2 minutes, and I've noticed they do get tired out pretty easily if they are run to their zone quite a bit for a while. But with the fact that they have the experience of battling and getting hard to finish games, Minnesota could show a slight edge in their conditioning by longevity of play, because I've noticed Minnesota does tend to have that last 5-minute push every single game.
Now they have had that. However, the Blue, and we've talked about this in the past, the Blues are far and above one of the best cycling teams in the league. Right? You won't even debate that.
That's why I was saying it in that way, kind of where the conditioning can be an issue.
Yeah. So with that, sorry, when I go back and forth, it changes camera angles a little bit, but I'm doing the best I can, guys. You're right, but that to me, that's not even a complete X factor. It's there, but not as much. I think there's another huge X factor. Lance, what do you think the X factor in this series is?
I think the X factor in this series that people are thinking is a wash or that it's even is Fleury. Fleury plays like he did when he was with Pittsburgh and some of the years with the Golden Knights. The Blues are going to have issues. They're going to have a lot of issues. And I know they scored on him a little bit in the regular season, but I just think that when it comes to Stanley Cup runs, a hot goaltender, a top goaltender is a key. When was the last time you saw a Stanley Cup winner, a goaltender that gave up 4 goals a game? It just doesn't happen. Yeah. So I think that battle is the X factor. Husso and Fleury. I think it's going to be fun to watch. You got the youngster who's with no experience, and you got Fleury, the future Hall of Famer. That
would be like a 1C or 1B to me, but that's not the biggest X factor to me. I think there's one thing that has been left out. Now, I was watching NHL Now tonight, and they talked about goal, this season, and how the most goals were scored since like 1980 or something like that. The goals per game was like the highest since like 95. They showed a trend where the last 5 years in the playoffs, the average goal is going up, right? So these playoffs could be a little more offensive than they have been in the past.
But it's still under 5.5, 5.4 goals a game. That's under 3 goals per team per game. So it's still
I get that.
low.
Hold on. You're jumping on me. To me, one thing that I look at was penalties this season, and this was a season where penalties were just a little bit higher than they were past, right? They were a little bit higher. I think special teams are going to be the biggest X factor in this game. Minnesota is one of the highest penalized teams in the league. Minnesota takes, and let's see if I can get this. Minnesota is 30th in the league. They had, in 82 games, they had 82.2 minutes, 10.8 average per game. They're giving up 5 power plays a game. 5 power plays a game. The Blues are third. 82 games played, 611 minutes, 7.5. 3.5. The Blues are the tied for the best special teams unit in the league. And I forget who the other team was. It was like a surprise to me that they jumped up in there. Hold on a second. Let's see if I can find it real quick.
Was it the Leafs?
The Maple Leafs, right? Both the Blues and the Maple Leafs were 113.1, with the Hurricanes being at 110.2 and the Rangers at 110.6. And then it kind of falls off 107.6, 107.1. And that's taking, what I do for that stat is I take net power play and net penalty kill and add them together, because I think that gets missed. I think the net part of this is extremely, extremely important, because we've seen it in the past. A shorthanded goal can destroy. Say again?
Boston just scored.
Boston just scored? Okay, I've got us on now, so I've got the warm-ups on, so, thank you for keeping me up with that. Doing the best I can with all of this, with my mouse moving around.
Yeah, I just want to say one thing. Back in 2019, 2020, the Blues power play was second in the league at 3.14, or they scored 3.14 goals a game, and they had one of the top power plays when they took on, I believe
they didn't score 3.1 power play goals per game.
No, not power play. I'm talking about goals per game.
Goals per game.
Okay. And they had one of the top power plays. Would you say they had one of the top power plays that year against Vancouver? No, they didn't. So
yeah, but there's a huge asterisk there.
It doesn't.
A 4-month layoff.
It doesn't matter, guy. There's still stats.
It does matter.
You cannot ignore. You cannot ignore stats. That's just like, are you going to tell me that the Lightning aren't Stanley Cup champions because of COVID?
No, but the Lightning bought into the bubble, and the Blues didn't. The Blues did not come into that bubble wanting to be there, didn't want to play, and it was obvious. And I have 2 different reporters saying that there was no buy-in and that they saw it from the players and they were absolutely dead certain of it. So yes, that bubble does have an effect. And if the Blues didn't buy into it, well, that's why they went 2-6-1 or whatever it was. Right? It was 2, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 2-6-1. Right? So yes, the bubble does. I'm sorry, that bubble has something to do with it.
You're never going to convince me otherwise that regular season doesn't matter in the playoffs. You can throw it out the window, and a lot of the rankings when it comes to penalty kill, special teams, they totally change. You can look over the last couple of years.
Sometimes they do. That is important. However, Minnesota has, their penalty kill is like 79%. Right? Minnesota's penalty are 76.7%. They 76.1. They are 25th in the NHL. If that team gets in the box, the Blues are going to get opportunities to score. Their special teams can win a game for them.
Yeah,
Minnesota's can't.
They can't. Yeah, they can because Huso has zero experience in the playoffs.
You know what? So did Bennington. And he rose the trophy. So did Murphy. He rose it twice.
Bennington
rose it twice.
Bennington was the best goalie in the second half of that season. You cannot say Ville Huso was the best goalie in the league this year.
I can't. But we've seen, especially recently, rookie goalies go on and have long runs. We've seen that. Murphy won it twice as a rookie.
You mean Murray?
Murray.
How do you win it twice as a rookie? You're not a rookie the second year.
He didn't play enough games.
Behind it, Murray didn't play enough games in the regular season in 2016 to be considered to burn his first year of his entry-level deal. So he ended up playing in the 2016 playoffs when Marc-Andre Fleury got injured and went on to win the Cup. The next year, it was his full rookie campaign, splitting the net with Fleury and splitting the net with Fleury in the playoffs up to the final.
The reason I have a problem is this, and I never liked this since I first started playing hockey. You've got the media that's not giving the Blues a chance, which is just terrible. Then you've got Blues fans that think there's no way the Blues can lose to the Wild and that the Blues are going to win it in 5 games. So you've got both sides. You've got to look at both sides and look at weaknesses and so on and so forth. All Blues fans are acting like the Blues are the best team to ever play the game this year, and they're not. They were not in the top 5 in the league. They're a good team.
With all due respect, fuck Blues fans. I don't care what Blues fan thinks. I care what I think. I care what I've read. I care what stats I've seen. What they feel doesn't matter on this show at this moment. What matters is how we look at the stats and how we break things down and how we understand things with their comments. So I hope they don't get mad at that, but that's how I feel right there. It doesn't matter. You're allowing them to affect your judgment, and I don't think so.
No, I'm not allowing them to affect my judgment. I'm just telling you that the Blues team is not the best Blues team we've ever had. I think they're better than the 2018-19 team. But I think there's a lot of teams that played that year that are better this year in the playoffs. My whole point is that, you know, everything is different. Each year is different. The playoffs are different with the regular season, and I can't get you to see that, guy. You think because the Blues own them for the last 3 years that means the Blues are going to own them and win this series. That's got nothing to do with who wins the series. What it has to do with who wins the series is who plays better in this series. It's got nothing to do with past.
Exactly. And in overall, against head-to-head, the Blues have played better than them. And overall, down the stretch, they both played very well. The Blues had maybe a little bit tougher schedule than Minnesota. I'm sorry. I think that the last month, both teams had amazing months. Both teams had amazing months down the stretch. Both of them did. In the last 10, there's like 1 game difference. They're like 7-3 and 7-2-1, or 7-1-2, and we're 8. Are 7-2-1. It's close. I was looking at it on NHL on NHL.com the other day. In the what do you call it? The media site. They had a thing on that. Let me see if I can find this real quick. Yeah, I'm not going to find it now. It was. When did I talk? I talked about it on Saturday, didn't I? Yeah, they don't have it on here now. Right? They had it on. They had it on here, and now I can't find it. Oh well, but there was. Oh, here it is. Now I found it. So one of the things that they talked about was head-to-head series mattering in the playoffs, right? And it matters in the first 2 rounds. It really does, and I think that you cannot. Now look. for some reason, and I know a lot of people love Money Puck. Money Puck has gone off and said for a while now 60-40, right? They've had the actually closer to 70-30 Minnesota winning this series. I haven't seen that, and I don't see it. Right? The Blues have more have more 50-point scorers than Minnesota. They have more 20-goal scorers than Minnesota. They have what I think is an overall better defense, while a lot of people don't. But we have we have better defensive forwards. We have better two-way players. I'm sorry, but I just think that this series is going to be one of those series that goes the way it's scripted. Wendy, now it's your turn to get in and break this up.
No, I think it's fine to see where you keep ranting at.
Right?
I've got one thing to say. Look at the great Oilers teams. There were a few of their Stanley Cup runs. They had the top, I think, 8 out of the top 10 scorers in the league some of those years. They got into the playoffs, guy, and they weren't scoring 5 goals a game. They were scoring 2 and 3 and winning those games.
Okay, that's on the players there. That's on the players not showing up.
It's on the players for the Blues, too, to show up. It doesn't mean past season experience means nothing, and you cannot count on that. I'm saying you can quote stats all you want, but you cannot count on the team playing the – look at the Blues, and I know you're going to say because of the bubble. But the Blues were one of the best teams in the league when they played Vancouver that year. They were hot when the season ended. And it's their responsibility to get back in shape. I can't help the fact they didn't. The only thing I can look at is they didn't play like the team that played in the regular season. And it can happen. That's just my point.
That is a true point. That is true. I just don't think it will happen.
3-1.
Well, I can respect that.
3-1 who?
3-1 Hurricanes.
Yeah, 3-1 Hurricanes.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I can respect that. I just think a lot of people don't respect it. They all go gung-ho over it. And, people, you've got to be unbiased here. Do I think the Blues can win this series? Yes. Do I think it's going to be a tough series? Yes. Do I think Minnesota can win this series? Yes. There's so many variables.
You know what? Not all stats go out the window. I know he says some stats, but teams' identities, for the most part, don't go out the window. Now, you want to talk about Toronto and last season their fall off. Well, that had a lot to do with Tavares getting hit in the head, right? There are things that happen in a series. I'll give you an example. Prime example, 1985 World Series, Cardinals versus the Royals. Who was the better team in that series?
But it didn't matter. The Royals won.
But why? Why did it not matter? Something happened in that series that everybody forgets about.
Okay, but every team has injuries, and a lot of them get injured in the playoffs. You cannot use that as an excuse for not winning.
Yes, you can.
No, you can't. Nope.
Vince Coleman got eaten by the tarp. Vince Coleman was the leadoff hitter and the number 1 run scorer.
If it wasn't the Leafs and it was another team, I guarantee you they would not tell you, well, you got to give us a break. Tavares got hurt. That's why we didn't win. You can't look at it that way as a team. You cannot do that.
You have to do that. You have to. You cannot look at things.
All right, guys. O'Reilly's injured. We're done. We can't win this series. So when we lose this series, we're going to blame it because we lost O'Reilly.
If O'Reilly was injured, it would change the complexion of this series.
But you can't blame that. But you can't blame
the complexion of this series.
You can't blame a loss. You cannot blame a loss on that.
Injured. It would change the complexion of this series. If Marc-Andre Fleury was injured, it would change the complexion of this series.
But you can't blame a loss on it. If you're a team and you do that, you don't belong in the playoffs. You cannot go, no, we lost this game because Fleury got hurt, and that's why we lost to the Blues. You know what? There's no excuses for winning or losing when people get injuries. You've got guys that have to show up every night and take up the slack. That's just the way I feel. You can blame it all you want to on injuries, and Leafs fans can too. But the Leafs lost because they weren't good enough depth-wise. That's why they lost in the first round.
Oh,
come on, Sammy. Hey, Guy and I don't hate each other. This is just a discussion. I respect his
I want to know
opinion.
what your side of this is. I want to know what you think on this.
I'm on the side with kind of on Lance here because I can tell you this. 2017, when the Hawks made the playoffs against Nashville, the Hawks owned Nashville for the past 5 years.
Okay.
What happened in that playoff? We got swept.
Okay. Why did you get swept? What happened? Was there a major injury?
No.
What did Nashville do differently in the playoffs that they didn't do in the regular season? What did Chicago do differently in the playoffs that they didn't do that they did or didn't do in the regular season?
Scoring wasn't there for the Hawks. That was
okay. Why wasn't scoring there? Why wasn't it there? You have to look. You're looking. If you just look at the surface, great. But what happened? What was there that didn't happen? And wasn't that when Rask had just an amazing playoff? He stood on his head.
You mean Pekka Rinne?
Rinne. Okay, sorry, Pekka Rinne.
Yes, that was when Rinne was standing on his head and no one could throw a puck past him. That's
so in other words, Fleury could stand on his head and the Blues could be shut out in 3 games.
Fleury could stand on his head, so could Husso. But when you look under the surface, you find out why teams lost. And you have to look under the surface. Shockley says, didn't Chicago make some trades that year going into the trade deadline?
We made
one. I thought you made one. Two
trades, one depth trade, and another trade where we reacquired Andrew Ladd from
Andrew Ladd. Yep, that's right.
Also, didn't Chicago didn't they they didn't play well down the stretch, if I remember. They did not have a great March.
They did. They actually had a solid final month of hockey.
They were one of the best teams in the league towards that last month.
It took them till the last 5 games of the regular season to have the division clinch. They were playing every one strong to try and clinch that Western Conference in 2017.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to look something up. I also remember Nashville just playing lights out towards the end there. Right? I think Chicago came in and just looked past
Crawford did not have an injury that year.
Nope.
He did at the early part of the season.
Yeah, but he was healed by that time.
He slipped on ice in the winter, but he came back and didn't have a concussion. The concussions came the year after.
Blackhawks finished with 109 points. Blues finished with 99. So it was more than the last 5 games that they clinched that. That's a 10-point difference there, right? They clinched it a lot earlier than the last 5 games. I'm almost dead certain.
I think it was them trying to clinch the conference or something because they were battling against the Ducks for a while there.
Yeah, well, it might have been. Well, the Ducks ended up with 105. Yeah. But for the division, they had the division, right? Yeah. And now that's
my whole point is that if they continue, if the Blues use the same recipe and it works against the Wild, they'll win. But if they don't, and the Wild make changes and they look, because trust me, I know for a fact the Wild have watched so much video on the Blues every game they've played them this year, and they're trying to find a different way to do things. If the Blues lose, do we say, well, the Wild did something different? I'm just trying to say that you cannot base playoff series on the regular season. You can get a good feel for how the series might go, but it's just, I've seen too many times where teams have won and just handled a team for 2 or 3 years that they, even in the playoffs, and they play them in the playoffs and they lose in 5 games. But they played that team the same way they played them when they won those games. I'm not saying the Blues are going to lose and the Blues are going to do something different to lose. I'm just saying that it happens. But sometimes it happens that nothing changes and the team plays the same way and they win. Mm-hmm. I just want people to realize that the Blues can play the same way and play just as strong against the Wild in the series, but they could lose. And the same way against the Wild. The Wild could play just the same and win. So it's just a toss-up. I'm not trying to make you feel stupid, Guy. I'm just saying
you're not making me feel stupid.
It's a toss-up.
Okay, well, here's some stats for you. So in the last month of March, in 2017, the month of March, the Blues were 15-3-2 for 32 points, 800-point percentage. They were second overall. The Ducks came in at 8-16. The Chicago Blackhawks came in ninth. They were 11-5-4. Now, I thought that the Predators had a little bit better. The Predators came in 9-7-3, so they kind of backed into the playoffs.
Yeah, they did
so
that.
They clicked. They clicked, and that can happen. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but at the same time, something with Chicago didn't work, and that's obvious. Because Chicago should have won that series hands down.
Well,
and St. Louis should have beat St. Louis in the second round, who beat the same Minnesota Wild in 5, and actually should have swept them, but didn't. Should have easily beat Nashville, but only went.
Yeah, Jonathan Toews will tell you. They looked past him. I've heard Jonathan Toews say that we must have looked past him. We didn't take him serious enough, and by the time we took him serious, we were down 2-0.
Right. Yeah. Lance, Facebook user says, Lance, you could not possibly make Guy look stupid. Nope, I do that all by myself.
Oh, my goodness.
I do that all by myself. So here's some stats on 5'10", 210. Crap.
Oh, come on, guys. No hating on Guy.
No, it's fine. You know what? We've had up to 25 people watching us. I really appreciate that, guys. I really do. Thank you so much for getting in there and enjoying. This has been a very spirited discussion, and I apologize for not getting all your comments. I do the best I can. We'll try and get them during the intermissions. Well, let's just hope the Blues play their game. If they do, shouldn't have a problem.
I agree.
See you all after
I agree.
First.
I agree with that.
But that's the point I've been trying to make the whole time. The Blues are a better overall team than the Wild, even though the Wild scored more points. I get that.
Yeah, I can say if the Blues play their game, they can beat anybody. I can't say that about the Wild because, they've played their game and lost a lot of games. And the first intermission, if Nick joins us, I got to see him get heated about something. I got to bring up a topic that'll get him heated to where he starts saying
I've known Nick for about 3 years now, Nick. 2 years, 2.5, 3 years.
It's going on about 2.
2 years. So I've known Nick for a while. I've never seen Nick get heated. I mean, very, very rarely. He's very.
I've seen a couple of my own live streams.
Okay, yeah, but that's videos. That's not live. I've never seen you get heated live.
Oh, I have. You have not seen me go live when I was doing some play-by-play for hockey games because there's a couple of live streams sitting around that.
I don't have a big nose.
Yeah, I watched one of your live streams one time after you were associated with Guy, and I'm like, man, he's so much milder on Guy's show.
I'm just saying that there's a couple live streams sitting around, especially one against Nashville at the 11:30 stupid start.
Yep.
That let's just say it was very heated.
Hey, we all get that way. I just think, look, I love Minnesota fans. All of them. Now, Ian should be on in the second intermission. Ashley should be here in the first. She sent me something. Layla was not in a good mood. Leia was not in a good mood. And yes, I have issues with names speaking sometimes. And I've had that for a very long time. Yes, it's something I need to work on to get better. But actually, I think it's part of my charm of screwing names up. So. It's not game time yet, but it's getting very close.
Good analogy, Nick.
He says 4-2 Blues. Let's get some What do you think? What is your expectations for tonight's game? Let's start with Windy.
I'm going to say in the first period of play, both teams are going to try and feel out each other's netminders, throw a couple either softies or tough shots to feel out the netminders, see if they can break them pretty quick with a easy goal, because if they can do it quick, just throwing a freaking terrible shot from the point, it could change up something going into the game. I really think we'll see some soft shots to start to just feel out the goalies, because let's be honest, this is a playoff game for Fleury, first time with the Wild. This is Ville Husso's first ever playoff game. Something could happen.
Did he get in? Did he get in during the Blues last year? Did he get in a little bit? Did Jordan Bennington play all of those? Play every minute? I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
I'm pretty
Right.
sure he played all 4 games last year.
Yeah, well, I know he started all 4. I didn't know if he played every minute of all 4.
I think he played every minute.
Okay, well, I know he got pulled, for
Yeah.
empty net, but whatever. Fleury is 9-12-2 against the Blues. Husso is 5-0 against the Wild.
Yeah,
5-0-0.
I'm going 3-2 final score guy, but I can't pick a team. It's that close. I'm going 3-2. Somebody's going to win 3-2.
I think
Okay.
overtime happens.
Fair enough.
Yep.
The only thing that concerns me in this game is the Blues' identity.
Yeah.
The Blues' identity is in the first 10 minutes, you kind of lay back. You kind of let them come at you. Let them come at you. And if you do that, Kraspasov has a chance to take this game over.
Mm-hmm.
If they are able to get good shots off and light the lamp early, they have a chance of taking us away. But they need to take the Blues or take the Wild out of their game by the third period. When it comes into the third period, they need to have the Wild out of their game. If the Wild are still in the game, they have a chance at winning it. They need to play the Wild physically because that's going to cause the Wild to create penalties. The Wild create penalties. The Blues get on special teams. And if you just think that they're wearing red jerseys instead of green, you got a hold of Fleury when he was playing with Chicago. You can get a hold of him when he's playing with Minnesota. And especially since Minnesota's penalty kill is a lot worse than Chicago's was.
If I'm Craig Berube, I'm telling all my players, take penalties, take them. Do not retaliate. You take as many penalties against you as you want, and be on that edge, but get them to make the mistake.
The Blues have been one of the best disciplined teams in the league all year long. Right? All year long. That's what it's going to come down to. I think it's going to come down to discipline. Who plays the best disciplined game? This is actually the Blues' first time playing in this arena since last season, right? Since 2020, since the last game of 2021.
Yeah, and we all
season game. So
we all remember the first round when the Blues took them out pretty easily because Jake Allen stood on his head a couple years ago. Because that was a very even series. If not for Jake Allen, the Blues don't go on to play the Predators in the second round. They were just out of gas by the time they got to the Preds in the second round.
Yep. Well, they handedly beat the Wild in 15. Or no, was that 17?
That was 17-18 or 16-17, yeah.
The Wild handily beat the Blues in 15.
Yep.
So it's been a few years since they've seen each other. This is why I like the playoff schedule where you play that 2-3 in your own division. Yes, I do. I'm sorry. You're wrong. Divisional playoffs are better.
1v8's the best way.
What?
1 versus 8's the best way to
You have it. You have that.
Thank you.
You have 1 versus 8. You have 1 versus 8. You have 2 versus 7.
I'm just saying the true 1 versus 8, and you could be playing teams in the different division each and every round is.
We'd be playing the Blues. The Blues would be playing
Edmonton.
the Edmonton Oilers.
That would be a great series.
That would be a lot better. That would be a fun series to watch.
Mm-hmm.
I actually think that this is a better series. I think this is a better series. I think that this is a division rivalry. I think that there's something that is added to it because it's a divisional rivalry. With Edmonton, no, there wouldn't. It would be the Blues versus McDavid. That's all it would be. That's all it would be. And I don't think the Blues should end up playing McDavid. Right? They were second in their division. Why should they be penalized for having less points but winning second in their division? That they're going to play the third team but as the away team. There's some issues to that 1v8. Rankings matter. What you do in your division matters. If it didn't matter, don't have divisions anymore and just make it single conferences. Right? That way, you get 1 through 8, no matter what. Take divisions out. If divisions are there, make them matter.
Okay. I can see where you're coming from, but I just think 1v8's a lot better of a setup.
You have that, though. You're getting 1v8 and 2v7, matter what.
But you're not getting 3, 6, and 4, 5.
Yeah.
But because They don't make sense. They don't make sense.
Guy. There could be 1 year where it makes
Edmonton be the away team. Why should Edmonton be the away team when they finish second in their division? They shouldn't.
Guy,
home ice.
The only teams that deserve anything they get are the teams that finish at the top of their division. You shouldn't be rewarded for finishing second. You shouldn't be rewarded for finishing third. You should be rewarded for winning your division and being number one in your division.
And having
you should be awarded for what you place in your division. Otherwise, divisions wouldn't matter. That's what this does. This makes divisions matter. That's what this 2-3 matchup does. It makes divisions matter.
It makes divisions matter anyway because you got 2 versus 7. That matters. They get a lower seed at 2-7 than 3-2.
Okay, but 2 won their division. 2 won their division. 1 and 2. You win your division. You're 1 or 2. If you come in second in your division, you get home ice. Instead of coming in second in the division and playing a team that finished third in their division and being on the road. That doesn't make sense. Edmonton earned home ice by finishing second in their division. They should get home ice.
Edmonton.
If you go 1v8, 4v5, Edmonton is an away team against the Blues.
Edmonton
doesn't make sense.
Edmonton deserves number 7 because they didn't get enough points.
Edmonton wasn't number 7. Edmonton finished second in their division.
Okay, but I'm saying
in a 1v8.
If they finish 7th overall, they don't deserve home ice advantage. Who cares they finish second in their division?
You wouldn't. Okay, if you finish 7th overall, you're not getting home ice. They finished second
in their division, but not in the conference.
But why have divisions then? As long as you have divisions, divisions matter.
You have divisions to see who's going to win the division, so that number 1 gets number 8 all across the board.
Take conferences away, and it's 1v8, 2v7 anyways. Take divisions away and just make it conferences.
Here for the traveling.
That's right. That's the main reason for divisions is travel.
Okay, well, the same thing goes in the playoffs.
The Central has the worst travel out of any division, and
who does?
Opinion. The Central. The Central has the worst
travel all over the place.
Out of every place.
Yeah, we travel. Chicago, St. Louis, and Nashville are Minnesota travel more than anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Have more travel miles than anybody else.
Yep.
I guess it's 4-0 Maple Leafs. Game should be coming on very, very shortly. Boy,
the drop is at 8:45.
So it moved.
4-1 Hurricanes.
8:45.
Looks like Vincent Trocheck just scored.
Yep.
I know I'm making some good points. I know I'm making good points. I know I am.
You're making good points, but Nick and I are making good points too. I mean, it's just a matter of opinion.
If you want it to be that way, make divisions go away.
But they're not going to do that because of travel. Like Nick said, there's divisions because of travel.
Fine. Well, here's the thing. You play more games in your division than you do outside of your division. You play more games in your division than you do in any other division. Your division should matter then. Not just first, where you place in your division. If you place second in your division, you should not go on the road because another division's third place team had more points than you. You finished second in your division. They finished third.
They got more points.
You should earn something for finishing second in your division.
No, you shouldn't.
You're the first place loser.
You're the first place. That's exactly right.
Okay, but the team that gets home ice is the third place loser.
If you're going to say that, guy, if you're going to say that, guy, if you're going to say that, then you need to say, man, teams 1 through 4 should earn home ice.
That's what you're saying. That's what you're saying.
That's not what I'm saying.
That's exactly what you're saying. 1v8 means the top 4 teams earn home ice. That's exactly what you're saying. I'm saying that the top 4 teams in their division, 1 and 2, deserve home ice. That's what I'm saying. And you're saying that it should be 1 for 4 through the conference. Great. Make divisions go away and only the conference count. Otherwise, if you're going to have divisions and if you're going to play more in your division, I don't have it on yet. I have it close, though. If you're going to play more in your division, then make the division matter.
It does matter because you can get first place and get home ice advantage.
Okay, but if you come in second in your division, you should not go on the road to play
You
a third
should.
place team.
If the other team has more points than you, you should.
Yeah.
No, you shouldn't.
You should.
No, you shouldn't. That's what I'm saying. No, you shouldn't. You came in second in your division. They came in third.
The Blues came in third. Do the Blues deserve a home ice on if they played number?
If you go 1v8,
seven?
that's what you're saying. They're going to get home ice. If you go 1v8, the Blues would have home ice over Edmonton.
Because they had more regular season
Points, guy.
Okay, no, they finished third in a conference. That's the difference. If you go 1v8, you're taking conference into consideration and not divisions. If that's the case, don't have divisions.
Just win your damn division. You won't have to worry about it.
Okay, but why does second not matter?
Because
why does coming in second not matter?
Because it doesn't. Okay, let me ask you this question. Wait. Does it matter? If you ask Bruins fans, does it matter you lost at the Stanley Cup because you came in second?
But Lance, what you're saying is, okay, and you could have this. You could have a team that finished second in their division be on the road against the fifth place team.
That's right, because you got more points. They got more points than you.
No. Divisions matter. If they didn't matter, you would just have conferences.
Like I said, there's only
mattered. They matter when we went 1v8. Divisions mattered.
They don't matter except for travel and who gets home ice because they finished first.
You know what? You can still take divisions go away and still do the travel the same way. Divisions, if you're going to have divisions, make them matter. If you finish third in your division, you deserve home ice. Or second in your division, you deserve home ice. If you finish third in your division, you don't.
Can I ask you a question? Let's say that what Colorado end up with, guy, 116 or 119 points?
116.
116. Okay, let's say
118.
Okay, let's say the Avalanche have 118 points.
Yes.
And the number 2 team has 89. Okay, do they deserve home ice advantage for getting 89 when Edmonton gets 95 in another division? No, they don't.
First of all, the likelihood of that happening is very rare, and that's what I was just pointing out. I'm sorry. I think that coming in second in your division matters. Well, it's just about puck drop. It's just about puck drop. We can carry this on in the post game.
Real quick. Don't be sorry. It's your opinion. Don't be sorry for your opinion.
No, I'm not sorry for my opinion. I'm sorry to everyone listening to me scream for the last 15 minutes.
Hey, it's all right.
Okay, guys, enjoy the game. We'll see you at the first intermission. Aloha.